Welcome everybody to the next episode of Real Business Roundtable. Today we're going to talk about something that resonates with both of us big time, is fitness.
Yeah. No, I think this is a really good topic because not only is it just good to keep up with your fitness and keep your
Health.
Body and your health and all that, but it's also good for your mental state. And we've talked about this in a past episode before. It's just so beneficial to have fitness as an aspect in your life, and you're extremely you're well versed in that area, in that topic. So I think this will be a good one.
Yeah, it's one of my top passions in my life, aside from business, and I love cars and success and things like that. But fitness is at the top of one of the top things that I'm very, very passionate about.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm just curious. So I know what inspired me to be to have fitness in my life, and honestly, it has become so. It's become so a necessity in my life.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a form of therapy. It keeps me in the right state of mind. And how this is relevant to this show is your well-being, overall wellness, health, strength, and the byproduct of being fit and working out and training, both aerobic and anaerobic, can position you to help, believe it or not, reach those goals professionally and personally.
Yeah, so that you're kind of touching on a point that I want to make. So, I was never really into fitness when I was younger. I was, I didn't really know how to get into it. It was intimidating to me. But once I started getting into it and I started learning about it, it became a hobby. It became something that was so important to me. Like I said, it was a necessity in my life. And to this day now, I'm so grateful that I got into fitness, because it has helped me so much with my mindset. I have it's not horrible, but I have ADHD, and
Same here, I do. Yeah.
Fitness helps me, just calm everything down. It helps me filter everything. It helps me, helps my mental state so much.
If I don't work out, I get this level of guilt. I feel like trash. Now I do take a day off here and there, but I just don't. I need to get some kind of activity done, because that sets me up for the day where I have a good mental state. If I don't work out, I get grouchy.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, I'm irritable, and I feel like that is my release. If I'm frustrated about something, I take it out on the weights, and it makes me feel much, much better. I wanted to ask you what, your upbringing in your home, where did were your parents into fitness? Any specific, your mom or your dad or?
Yeah, so my parents were never really into fitness, but my dad was. Like I mentioned, he was a runner. He could run 12 miles.
That falls into fitness. Yeah.
But, they weren't really into fitness, so to say. What they were into was staying busy, was to giving yourself something to do, not to just sit there and think and to just be anxious. And so they always forced me to go and, do a sport, or to go and, now it's just go and work out. It gives me something to do. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mindset stable. That's something that they instilled in me, was just staying busy. But like I mentioned before, my dad was, he was always into fitness. He was always at the gym. He was always running like crazy. So
yeah. So my dad, growing up watching him, we always had a weight bench in the house, lifting weights. He would play in different soccer leagues, and he was always active. So I kind of was brought up with seeing that. I used to mess around with the weight bench and stuff like that, see him lifting weights. So it inspired me. But I did hit a point. So what kind of like made the light bulb go off was I lifted weights, but I knew nothing about nutrition. I knew nothing about what to eat, what not to eat. So I was, in a good portion of high school, I was kind of the chubbier kid, shaped like, he's a bigger guy, but he has muscle under the. Yeah. So I would still lift weights, but I would eat like trash.
That's how I was. Yeah.
Tons of spaghetti and tons of chips and cookies and rice, and just not even watching carbs at all.
Yeah.
And and then I'll never forget the moment happened. I might have mentioned this on another show, but I feel like it's interesting and relevant to the audience. I was standing outside of a convenience store drinking a Sobe drink.
Yeah, you have mentioned this.
And this jacked dude, ripped guy was like, hey man, you got a great frame. If you cut that sugar, you'll lean out and you can see all that muscle. He's like, I can tell you're a bigger guy. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I go, there's no fat in here. He goes, no, man, it's the sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar will kill your physique. So I started training like more and more intense. I cut the sugar, and then you could see all that muscle I built. And then I got more disciplined with, natural bodybuilding, eating right, getting in the right amount of protein. But the byproduct of that was I have a level head. I feel better. I'm more like I've overall sense of wellness, and the benefit for being fit, getting the blood pumping, moving, doing both aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic is when you go for a run or a sprint. Anaerobic is when you do resistance training with weights and stuff like that. It's good to have a balance.
Yeah. So I want to ask you something just to kind of, kick it off before we go too deep into dieting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for most people, getting into the gym and getting into fitness is extremely intimidating. Some people don't like it. Mm-hmm. What would you say to those people, or how did you start going to the gym, and how did you start?
So I had a friend that joined a gym, and he goes, hey man, come join the gym with me. And I was like, all right. And yeah, it's a little intimidating because when you first walk in there, you got all these jack dudes and you're in crappy shape. I just kind of I had the motivation at that time in my life to lose some body fat. So I just went in there focused on, getting the right split, which means training what body parts on what day and how many times a week you're doing it, and just staying focused. And yeah, it was a little bit intimidating. I think I was only 19 years old.
But the key thing is that you went with a friend.
Yeah.
When you're going by yourself, it can be intimidating, but going with someone is very helpful. I always try to go with a friend. I mean, it helps out a lot. But when you're going to the gym, if someone who's listening is worried about going into the gym because it's intimidating, maybe you think everyone's watching you, people are judging you. Let me just tell you, no one is looking at you. No one is watching you. You're there to help yourself. That is extremely respectful. And, I want people to understand that, helping yourself and going to the gym is something that people are going to respect. You're not going to be judged. Because when I first started going to the gym, I was extremely intimidated. I would just get anxious going into the gym.
Yeah.
But you're there with one goal, and that is to help yourself. And that is to, get more, get into fitness. Don't be afraid of the people around you.
Yeah, and it's also a multi-tiered approach. It's not just about the aesthetics of looking good. It's about strength, wellness, health. If you're put in a bad situation and you have to defend yourself, you need to make sure that you have the strength to hold your own. Just core natural strength, and you want to take advantage of that by triggering those genetics, what everyone has, and taking it to the maximum level by positioning yourself to handle a situation. It's not, and it's not just, it's a multi-tiered, multi-pronged.
Yeah, I was going to say that's just one aspect of a benefit of being fit.
And here's another benefit. A lot of people don't realize the more muscle that they have on them, the more calories that they burn.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be so strict on eating. The smaller or the less skeletal muscle you have, the less requirement of calories. So I remember at my biggest in college, there was this period I was at my biggest muscular wise. I remember I needed to eat so much food. I felt like my body, like for example, my cheat day would be, I'd go to Wendy's, I'd get a triple cheeseburger, and they used to call me Mr. Quad because I'd be like, throw another patty on there. It was on my cheat day.
Yeah.
I should punish a 4-patty burger. I'm like, yeah. And
sounds so good right now.
Yeah. But it was like a shitload of protein. And that's like at that point.
Yeah. So I want to get into, let's get into the sciences behind it, because I know you are all about supplements and working out and just compounds and stuff like that. So I want to kind of jump into that.
Yeah, so if someone wants to get into strength, fitness, wellness, and things like that, the first thing aside from the training schedule and the split, you need to look at what are you putting in your mouth.
Yeah.
What are you putting in your mouth? Because that is what is going to impact about 80% of your physique, how you look. And that you need to break it down. There's tons of different, and I don't like to use the word diet, but lifestyle, and you want to constantly keep your body almost guessing if you do the same thing, and same thing with training. If you do the same thing all the time, your body becomes very acclimated, and then you see less results from it.
You need to diversify.
Yeah, exactly. You got to change it up, diversify what you're doing. So the first thing you want to look at is, now if losing body fat, which is probably a really popular topic right now, and I need to explain that I am not a doctor. I'm not giving out medical advice. I'm just sharing my own personal knowledge and what I have done for myself and when I was a personal trainer for my clients.
It's crazy when you really do a lot of research into this stuff. You'll find out so much good information. Like, for example, someone on the crew, we helped him figure out something that he's been dealing with for a while. And I gave him the same information that a doctor might have given him. And it's interesting. You learn so much stuff when you just dive into supplements and you learn about diets and what they do. Like for example, a great diet that helped me out a lot was keto.
Okay.
With ketosis, I never knew this. I just thought, oh, it's keto. But when you read about it, you learn that when you are in that diet, your body is in a state of what's called ketosis, and it's forcing your body to use fat as energy rather than carbs and sugar. So with a ketogenic diet, you're cutting out the carbs and you're cutting out the sugar, and it's forcing your body to eat the fat. And I never knew this. I always just thought like, oh, you're just cutting out the bad things. It's like, no, there's a lot of science behind it, and it's extremely beneficial in some situations. And it just knowing this stuff is very, very powerful.
Yeah, so I kind of want to lean more towards people, not like hard gainers, people who are super skinny that can't put on muscle. We can talk about that also, but I think the majority of the audience probably has some body fat that they want to get rid of. Maybe they have some base muscle on their body. They got to lose some, maybe 20, 30 pounds, maybe more than that.
Everyone's in a different situation.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the different types of working out. The different types of workouts. So like HIIT training, weight training, aerobic, anaerobic, like stuff like that.
So when you're training, you want to switch it up. So like 1 week you'll do one specific routine for resistance training, which is anaerobic training. You want to, like, for example, you can do pyramids. Pyramids are when you start with one weight, then you go up to a higher weight, and then you go back down to the smaller weight. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about it. Then you have what I don't feel enough people talk about, and that gives you the fastest results, the most growth, but it's a pain in the ass to do, which is drop sets.
Oh, yeah.
When you start at a weight, say you start at 200 pounds, do as many reps as you can until failure. You can do the failure thing, or you can count to 7 or 10. It's up to you. But if you can do the failure, then you drop it by like 5 pounds. Do as many as you can. Drop it by 5 pounds. One set takes you forever.
Yeah, no, I love that workout. I love it, especially for like if you're doing biceps or if you're doing like chest, you're doing like a bench press, right? Yep. And you got however much weight on there. You just keep going.
It's brutal.
And then you drop it down to like literally just the bar, and then you keep going until failure. That you get the most insane pump from that workout.
Yeah. So there's one called the Russian orgasm. Not to be weird, that's the name of it, but you do basically you do until failure. You almost like 21s. So you say you're doing a curl, you go like this till failure.
Oh, and then
till failure, and then you do the full
one. I've seen that before.
And then the last one, and I believe you do it on an incline or incline bench, and you're leaned all the way back, and you're just hitting your biceps, and you're just going to complete failure. Sometimes people do assisted reps, but that's an intense workout. So far, you got the pyramids, you got the drop sets. The next one is a regular straight set where you set it to like 100 pounds. You do 3 or 4
for weightlifting.
Yeah, you do 3 or 4 sets with 100 pounds or whatever you can do. But here's the thing. The number of reps. The shorter the number of reps, the more that you're focusing on strength training. Like people do 1 rep max outs. I met with a business out in where the hell were they? They were like in Tewksbury or something like that, or Bill Ricca. Massachusetts, and I went out there. These guys were doing 1 rep, all the weight that they can do. Now
Were they big? Like
yeah, both of them were pretty solid dudes, and it was crazy because they were just doing 1 rep.
That's
and
weird.
I look and that's powerlifting.
yeah.
So rule of thumb is the less the reps, the higher the weight, and you're more leaning towards strength. Now, when you get to higher reps, that's another thing that you can switch up. So not only from straight sets, pyramids, or drop sets, you can also change how many reps you're doing. So are you doing 6 reps, 8 reps, 12 reps, 15 reps?
Yeah.
How many sets are you doing? Are you doing 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 4 set? So one of the training methods that I've tried before is the high intensity training by Metzer,
Okay.
the old bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That is a interesting double split where you're training each body part twice a week, and you have select body parts that you train, and you follow that. But what's very important is, just like diet, you got to switch up your training methods. For example, if 1 week you're doing cable flies, the next following week you do bench flies. Grab 2 dumbbells, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever you can do that has enough resistance to get you 12. My ideal rep number is 12. So enough to just squeeze at the top, bring it in. And that, when you have that and you do that for that week, try to do something else, whether it's cable, machine, free weights, body weight.
Yeah. So when you're kind of touching on it. So when you're going into the gym for the first time, let's say you're getting into fitness, you always want to have a plan set. You always want to have a regimen set for yourself. So like you said, you want to diversify it, but you want to go in having a set. So like a split. So
Yes.
like one day, let's say Monday, you do chest. Tuesday, you do arms. You gotta split it up.
Yeah, and then preferably you should try to do each muscle group twice a week.
Yeah.
That's what you should try to do. So typical split will look like this, where you can either do, and I just so the audience knows, I was a personal trainer for the longest period of time. I had tons of clients, and I brought clients massive results. So I'm not talking out of my ass, and it's not bro science, it's actual experience. There's 2 types of splits that I used to show my clients. You have the front, back, and bottom split, which means you are doing your chest and your bicep, which is front. Chest, bicep, one day. You're doing back, tricep one day. Then you're doing legs. So you're doing front, back, bottom. Take a day off. Or if you really want to get intense, you can, so basically you have your push-pull movements.
That's what, I've heard a lot
So I would have
push-pull.
chest and tricep same day. Now I'm doing front, back as a split. So you do chest, triceps one day. I do legs one day. I'll do shoulders one day. And with shoulders, I'll work in like maybe a little bit of forearm and some extra calf workouts. But that is a different split. So you have your front, so your front, or your back, your front or your back, or front, back,
Yeah.
and then legs. So the leg day doesn't ever really change. So on leg day, you make sure you're hitting your hamstrings,
Yep.
you're hitting your calves, you're hitting your quads, and then you're doing something like a nice compound movement, like a deadlift, a squat, something like that, that really is gonna like trigger all the muscle movement and stimulate the muscle all together. So it's multiple muscles that are being triggered at the same time.
Yeah, and so I'd also like to talk a little bit about, we always say diversify. So along with weight training, you should always have a high intensity interval training. So essentially like sprinting rather than running. I'm not a big fan of running, but sprinting is a really good one. One good one that I do before every workout is a high incline, slow jog or walk for about 10, 15 minutes. I do that at the highest incline. And then Stairmaster as well is a good one. But high intensity interval training is very important. That's something that I've really enjoyed. And sprinting is something that you do a lot.
So I do sprinting with my son at least once a week. And what I like about sprinting is that it stimulates growth hormone naturally. and testosterone naturally, and it surges in your bloodstream, and you get the benefits of the activated muscle growth and also the muscle recovery, which testosterone is required to achieve that. So that's why I really like sprints. Plus, it's a blasting movement.
Yeah.
We typically will do 100 yards, on a soccer field or something like that. We'll do about eight sets.
Yep.
Full speed as fast as we can. So we'll run to one end, run back, and we do that 8 times. And that is a great, if you feel like, I got to take all these supplements, supplements are good, and we'll get into that, but try to trigger your body's natural production. So training, not doing too light of weights, and there are times that you can do light weights. So if you really want to show more definition, you do higher reps, and you can have a lighter weight, let's say week, but don't stick with light weights all the time. And if you go with light weights, you got to do high reps. So yeah.
So one thing I've actually been seeing a lot about that, it tones you out a lot. It really works on body motion and using your body weight as calisthenics. So I don't know too much about this, but it's very interesting. This is, something for people that maybe they're trying to, cut down on weight, or they're trying, I guess it's like everyone going to the gym, but they're trying to get more of a aesthetic that's more like toned, maybe not very muscular, but I want to talk a little bit more about calisthenics and what it is and how people do it and stuff like that. Do you know?
Yeah. So the most popular one is push-ups.
Well, yeah.
You get down, you try to do as many push-ups as you can till failure. Try not to count them, I'm going to do 3 sets of 12, because you're not really dealing with a heavy weight. You just want to go to complete failure. Oh yeah, and that's another one. So we had the pyramids, the drop sets, and the straights is going till failure.
Yeah.
And that was really big with Mensur.
Yeah.
That he complete failure. So what failure means is if you're doing a bench press, it is when you cannot go anymore. Say you're halfway, you got a spotter, you cannot go anymore. There's nothing in you to push it farther up or farther down. It's absolute failure. That is excellent for growth and strength.
What I like to do personally is I like to kind of mix it up quite a bit. So I will do, let's say I'm doing bench, very common workout. What I'll do is I'll do sets as well as drop setting, right? Drop setting.
So drop sets when you reduce the weight.
Yeah. I blanked on the word. Sorry, so I'll do sets and drop setting until failure. So what I'll do is or even like any workout essentially.
Yeah.
I'll start off doing 3 sets, and I'll do 12, 10, 8, making the weight higher, and then I will bring it back to the weight that I was doing at 12. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do drop sets. So I'll go until failure. Yeah. I'll take off weight, go until failure. And then let's say I'm doing bench, I'll take off all of the weight, and I'll just go. It's I think normally bar is about 45 pounds. I'll just go, and you just get the most insane pump if you just go and you don't stop until you fail. For example, with the bench, with just the bar after doing those 3 sets.
Yeah.
That's how I do it for most workouts. If I'm doing a very intense workout, when I'm just doing, more of a quick workout, maybe it's like a Tuesday morning, I just want to get in a quick workout, I'll do 3 sets, and, I won't really worry about the drop setting, but I will superset.
Supersets are very, very good. Actually, when I do the chest and tricep days, that's when I focus on supersets.
Yeah.
So
what is superset?
A superset is when you do one workout. So let's say you're doing chest. So you're doing flies. Mm-hmm. And then immediately after when you're done at the last rep, you immediately go to another free weight or machine or cable or whatever, and you do another workout. Yep. So let's say you do flies, and then you move to, let's say, free weight tricep extension.
Yeah.
Or you do an overhead extension.
There are so many different ways that you can work out. There's so many different ways. It's like an art form.
Yeah, and it's very important for the audience to know that you have to switch that workout often.
You can't just do one.
You can run it for 2 weeks and then switch it up. Even you still work on the same body, the muscle groups, but for example, if you're so used to doing cable pull downs, try some body weight pull-ups.
Yeah.
Try some body weight pull-ups and try to get in at least 10. If you're not hitting 10, set a goal to hit 10. That's like the sweet spot number. If you're doing bench press, just try to do some push-ups, but go till failure. You got to constantly keep your body guessing. And I wanted to allow this to segue into nutrition.
Yeah.
So the same thing with nutrition. You want to keep your body guessing all the time. Like sometimes I will go a full week with almost no carbohydrates at all. The full week. I feel like kind of drawn. I'm kind of tired, and I'll have a cheat day, but like I'll push my body to that limit to try to use as much fat as possible for energy to lean out.
When you're doing a diet that requires you to eat no carbs, like let's say for example, you were saying you're gonna find that you're going to get drained. You're going to feel your energy after about a week. Your body's going to start going into ketosis.
Yeah.
That's like what I was explaining before. It's when your body is forced to use fat as energy, but there's a little bit of there's a ramp up. There's a little bit of a period where your body needs to get used to that. It needs to acclimate.
Yes.
And so I wanted to, people to understand that, because I've noticed sometimes that people will be like, oh, I started this diet, but I started to get wicked drowsy and lethargic, and that's normal. Mm-hmm. If you just go past that period, which kind of sucks, but if you go past that period, that's when you'll start to notice a big difference.
So like the perfect diet, if I'm doing 3 or 4 meals a day, perfect diet to me would be, 6 or 8 whole scrambled eggs. Let me hit pause for a minute. To the audience, let's talk about eggs. The bodybuilding magazines that we're talking about eating egg whites. I don't know how to get into this. I don't want to offend anybody, but just hear me out. The bodybuilding magazines that we're talking about eating egg whites, sometimes if you eat egg whites, it's for those that don't need to produce natural testosterone, if you know what I'm saying. If you require your body to naturally make it, you need the fats and the nutrients that are in that yolk to stimulate your body to produce testosterone. So just so everybody knows, your body needs cholesterol to produce testosterone. If you're trying not to eat cholesterol, your body does not necessarily have the equipment needed to produce testosterone. So it's this whole system. Your body needs cholesterol to produce testosterone. If you don't have enough, then you can't produce testosterone. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure that if you are a natural fitness person, a natural bodybuilder, eat those yolks. So back to what I was saying. 6 to 8 whole eggs with some good grass-fed Irish butter. I'll whip that up. No potatoes, no bread, none of that. I might have a couple breakfast sausage with it or something like that. And then that will be my breakfast. Then for lunch, this is really easy for people to follow, I'll have like a grilled chicken salad. What's a grilled chicken salad? No croutons. No, if you get no carbs. No croutons. So you got nice grilled chicken, some lettuce, some real olive oil, not soybean oil.
That salad from the other day, maybe we should shout them out. That was so good.
That was crazy. Hey, guys, if you want a great salad, go to Salad Works in Woburn, Massachusetts.
That place was killer.
They have some, that's good. A free plug.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got some, oh my God, you just go in there. They're like, what do you want? Bap, bap, bap. It was so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Chipotle, but for salads.
And the whole salad was 375 calories. It had tons of protein. I was like,
good. Cobb salad. What was that? The avocado Cobb salad? Go in there, try that.
Yeah. So, so for lunch, you'll have grilled chicken on romaine lettuce with some balsamic vinegar and some real olive oil, maybe a little bit of salt and pepper, and you're good. That's your lunch. You can supplement maybe a no carbohydrate protein shake in between that. And the last meal of the day, you want to rotate. So you want to do like asparagus and almost like a hockey puck or a little bigger than a hockey puck size of meat, some kind of protein, whether it's steak tips, salmon, chicken, whatever it is that you have, some form of meat. I personally like to eat about a half pound of meat per serving, but some kind of vegetable, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. Sometimes, if you want to really cut carbs, chill with the sweet potatoes in the beginning. Then you can kind of work them in here and there, but always stick with a green, a starchy vegetable, not starchy, like a cruciferous vegetable with a meat. So I think fish, chicken, beef, that's your dinner. And then you call it a day. Now, one last thing. You eat strict like that. Eggs for breakfast, chicken salad for lunch, maybe a protein shake in between. You're eating, and we'll talk about timing. You're eating every 3 to 4 hours. And then you have a cheat day. Some people do a cheat meal here during the week and here on another day that week. Everybody's different. Just go with the flow, live your life. Make sure you're not holding yourself back. But the cheat day is very important for a few things. In my personal and professional opinion, it triggers your body to have to burn those calories because you get surged. You shock the body. With those. I'm laughing because I have a friend that jokes about shocking the body.
Oh, okay.
Because we were like near a crumble cookie and he's like, come on, dude, shock the body. All right. So you shock the body with high calories. So if you want a crumble cookie, if you want like 3 slices of pizza, if you want a burger with cheese and all that and bread and all that, and you want pasta, just jam out on that one day and call it a day. But don't go overboard. Don't go over 3 or maybe 4 meals. But then after that day, you got to be strict again. And another thing is the timing of your meals. Rule of thumb is you want to eat. We can talk about intermittent fasting, but you want to eat when the sun is up. Very important.
Yeah. No, so I was just going to say, going into dieting pretty aggressively when I was doing no carbs and very little sugar, it was hard to find. I found myself saying, what do I eat? Because I'm so used to eating sandwiches. I'm so used to eating breakfast sandwiches. Like it just always, there's a carb in everything.
Yeah.
And, I found a lot of supplements to the carbs that I was eating. So for example, during lunchtime, I love a sub. I love a good sandwich. But instead, what I would do is I'd get a ton of different cold cuts, kind of like an Italian, put the veggies in there, whatever. And then I'd supplement the bread with a lettuce wrap.
Yep.
And it ended up being really good. But what helped me move into dieting was understanding that food is a luxury, or the way we look at food as a luxury. You should look at food as fuel, and then give yourself that luxury on that cheat day or on that cheat meal.
Yeah, because I'm not going to bullshit. I love food. I love
food.
pizza.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff. I love Chinese food.
Sushi.
I'm not going to be one of the, you see some of these fitness guys, they're so full of shit when they act like, oh, I don't like that stuff. You have to live your life.
Yeah.
You hit a point where you're not living your life to the fullest, where if you love food and you like food, treat yourself on that one day.
Yeah.
But you'll go freaking nuts. It's not good for you mentally.
No, it's not.
That Sunday, so like that Sunday or that Saturday, that's a mental reset for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I get to have pizza.
No, it's just funny. But seriously though, what really helped me was my point of view on food, my mindset on food. Every day I'd think, oh, I can have this bagel with bacon, egg, cheese.
When we jammed out on those bagels.
I know. I know. But like the thing is that when I started looking at food as fuel rather than an everyday, every meal luxury, then it started getting a lot easier for me. I was busy, so I just, I'd meal prep occasionally. I'd have those wraps already made. I'd go I'm hungry for around lunchtime. I'd go grab it. I'd eat about 4, cold cut wraps, and then I'm good. And I had no carbs. I had a bunch of protein, and I didn't really think about it. But then once that day, the cheat day came, then I was like, okay, now food is a luxury. I can get whatever I want.
And because nutrition is very important, when people food prep, make sure you're using a toaster oven. Don't put your food in a microwave. I don't care. I don't care.
Take your time to really make it.
You think, or what someone thinks or whatever. Like they think like, oh, I'm just gonna heat this up real quick. Oh, it's this one time. And when you get those pre-made meals, dump it in a porcelain plate, put it in the oven, put it in a toaster oven. Don't destroy your food with the microwave.
Yeah. Because
nutrition is key. Now I think we should get into supplementation.
See, this is something that I knew it was there. I knew about like multivitamins, all this stuff, but I didn't know a lot about it until I started working with you. And then now I'm just like, I'm eating supplements every day. I wish, do you have a pack of yours?
Oh shit, not on me. Because Friday I take a break. I don't take my supplements on Friday.
Okay,
I don't take them on Friday because I just like to give my body a break.
Yeah, but you take a lot of supplements, and I've learned so much about supplements since working with you. And open it up. I want you.
Yeah. So I believe in supplements. Long time ago, I used to work at a supplement store. I was fascinated about them and learned about the convenience of kind of almost like designing your own nutrition plan.
Yep.
And again, it's a supplement. It's not a replacement.
Yeah.
It is something that you add to your food regimen to make sure that you're getting the right nutrition, regardless of what you're eating. So I take a lot of supplements, and I go to the doctor. I get all my levels and things checked, and I'm in pretty much perfect health. There's one thing wrong with me. Always my blood sugar is one level above the minimum. So it's always, if the minimum was 100, it's 101. Whatever. It's probably because I have diabetes in my family.
I was going to make a joke, but I just...
So I watch my sugar. I got to be careful with that because I feel like I possibly am predisposed to it. So other than that, I'm in perfect health. I'm not trying to brag or sound like a douche. I'm in perfect health. So when I go to the doctor, they check my hormone panel. They're like, this is really good. Your numbers are really good. Cholesterol's good. Everything's good. Everything's like perfect numbers. So when I take these supplements, I know, hey, because my doctor said, keep doing what you're doing. He said, whatever you do. And he asked me, he goes, what are you taking? I was like, well, I take boron. And I just started listing things off. And he was like, boron? He's like, what do you use that for? And I was like, well, boron has several benefits. So to everybody watching, boron can help prevent diabetes. Boron allows your testosterone that might be binded by sex binding hormone globulin, which basically if you have testosterone in your bloodstream and you have this sex binding hormone globulin in your system, it binds it so it's not able to be used. So you have these receptors in your body that the testosterone goes in like a key and allows you to activate and benefit from those hormones in your bloodstream. If you have all this globulin that's just slowing things down, you're not getting the benefit of it. It's like having gasoline in your gas tank and you have something blocking the gasoline going to the engine. So I take boron, which loosens and frees up free testosterone. So my free testosterone level was 98%.
Yeah.
My doctor was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So I was like, yeah, I take boron for that. And he goes, what? My doctor had no idea about the benefit of boron. He's like, I got to research that. So like, let's get into supplementation. So what I take straight up.
Real quick, before you get deep into this stuff, because I know you can ramble about this for hours. How do people know what to take?
You have to listen to your body. So if there's something specific, well, you have your baseline health concerns. Am I getting enough vitamin D? Because vitamin D will affect my mood. Vitamin D, I might work indoors. I don't get enough sun. Things like that. You have to kind of assess your life. You have to say, okay, do I feel tired all the time? Okay, what should I take for energy? Or what could I take to improve more long-term energy, so like certain B vitamins.
Vitamin B. I was going to say vitamin B12 is great. So you can actually go online. I recommend this to anyone because this is what I did. And it kind of helped me introduce, or it gave me kind of an introduction into supplements and what I should take. Go online and look up supplement quiz or personal supplement quiz. And normally it's a company trying to sell you a subscription, and that's fine. I know Nature Made has a great one. But go and take a supplement quiz, and it'll tell you exactly what you got to get. Take that list, go to Walgreens, go to your, whatever, and get those supplements. But then there's also things that, there's also ones that you can add on to there. Like there's like ashwagandha, which I've recently found is a great supplement. If you want to keep going to what you were saying.
Ashwagandha has several benefits.
Anxiety is a great benefit.
The one I like that it does is it lowers cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that will make you gain weight. So I want to pause the supplement thing. I just want to share a story that years and years ago, I was eating clean as hell. but it was dealing with a lot of very stressful things in my life. And I gained a shit ton of weight. I was like, do I have Cushing's? Like, what disease is this? Like, what the heck's going on? Went to the doctor, ran some tests. He goes, your cortisol's through the roof. He's like, you got to just chill. You got to relax, take a vacation.
That's because cortisol is because of stress.
Yeah. And I was, oh my God, I don't even like looking at pictures. It was a short span of time. It was probably a period of like 6-8 months. I blew up for no reason. So I started researching cortisol, and I was like, all right, so I got to get my green tea in. That reduces cortisol. There are some anti-cortisol supplements out there, stuff like that. But ashwagandha is really good for reducing cortisol. And one of the benefits of like anabolic steroids is it blocks cortisol.
Yeah.
So that's why these guys can get real ripped easy. They're not putting on fat because they're putting this, artificial substance in their body that's blocking it.
Yeah.
And then when they get off of it, sometimes they get chubby again because they don't have that blockage. So what I like to do is go the natural route and take supplements that will help me reach my goals of blocking cortisol. So I take ashwagandha, I take green tea. Now, first thing in the morning, what I take every single day is I take boron, I take ashwagandha. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of, so let's say moringa root or moringa leaf. That's great for vitality and energy and things like that. Based on the herb that I might be taking, I might be taking something like maca, which is great for energy. I'll take that first thing in the morning. Then I will have my multivitamin. So that's my main set of supplements.
Yep.
I'll have my multivitamin, vitamin D, my B complex. I'll have beetroot. Beetroot is great for nitric oxide. I'll take moringa, ginkgo biloba. So ginkgo biloba is really good for blood flow. I'll also take some Alaskan blueberry. That's really good for anti-inflammation. So inflammation is
A lot of antioxidants.
yeah, and anti-inflammatory. So the thing with inflammation is you want to keep your body as much as you can as least amount inflamed, because inflammation can lead to disease. Inflammation can lead to a lot of problems. So I supplement turmeric.
Yep. Yeah.
I supplement natural vitamin C, which is derived from Alma. That's ALMA. You can ask any vitamin store that. Just say, I want Alma vitamin C. That's a good natural form of vitamin C. I'm literally going through my cabinet.
Yeah, no, I want to jump in real quick and just say,
good.
I just want to help people understand how important supplements are, not only for your health, but for me personally. When I don't take supplements, I feel different. I feel, when I'm taking them, I feel more just energized.
It's keeping you at your best.
Yes, exactly. It's keeping me at peak. It's really beneficial. And not enough people take supplements. And I know with COVID-19, people were, their eyes opened up to vitamin D, and that opened up to a couple different supplements. And so it's kind of a trend right now, but you should go and do your research on what supplements would benefit you and start taking them, because like I said, it's extremely beneficial, and you will notice a difference. After the first week or so, once your body has acclimated to those supplements being absorbed into your body, into your intestines, you will notice a difference. So 100%, I guarantee it.
Yeah, another good one is we want to look at amino acids.
Amino acids, probiotics are great for your gut flora.
So L-leucine, the byproduct of L-leucine is HMB. If you stack that HMB with creatine.
Give a little. No, you should give that's one that, okay, so give a little bit of secret, like a little sauce,
I take HMB and a low dose of creatine. I don't go with the full recommended. I only do 750 milligrams. 750 milligrams of creatine, and you take HMB together in the morning.
Before a workout.
In the morning before a workout. And I swear, after stacking those two together, my muscles, they felt hotter. They felt stronger, and I was like, wow, I felt that change. I also started taking liver pills. We talked about this the other day because I don't like liver. So I was like, you know what? My dad has always talked about how good liver is for you. And then I saw the Liver King videos. I was like, you know what? Let me just get this guy's stuff. Let me try it out. And I was like, okay. And I don't know what to equate it with, but I feel about 20%, 30% stronger when I'm working out. But I read a lot of good things about stacking HMB and creatine.
Yep.
Another important thing, and I don't want to get into everything I take. The other thing is your amino acids.
Yes.
So glutamine, lysine is good for you. You want to look at, like I said, leucine, maybe a multi-amino complex. Lastly, you want to make sure you're taking supplements before bed.
Yeah.
Before bed, you want to take zinc.
I take morning and you're talking about
zinc, magnesium, and B6, also sold as a product called ZMA. You want to take that with 6 milligram or 2 capsules of the boron. So I take boron first thing in the morning and right before bed. And I'll take ashwagandha before bed. But remember, ZMA, ashwagandha, and boron before you go to bed. If you're a man and you want to keep that testosterone level as high as possible naturally, and you want to keep that testosterone free. Yeah. The reason why this is important, it will set you up for success when it comes to fitness.
It'll also just make you feel good. Like we said before, it'll keep you feeling really good. It'll keep you feeling energized. You know, just it'll help you with that mental state. You know, your physical is good.
And that mental state is very important because that falls into the chemical composition that's required in order to push you, to motivate you, to make you want to be successful, to help you get, pushed, just being in a different mental state, to push yourself to go to that next level, whether it's business, your career, so, if you want to reach new levels of success, or if you're thinking about something, a new business idea, but you just don't, maybe don't have the motivation. When you get into fitness and you start working out, and you get yourself into a better state.
All these things together will put you in the best position to be motivated, to be confident, to feel good.
Both physical and mental is the foundational building block for you trying to hit your goals. Because if you meet someone, they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. And you just you want to be like, hey, dude, come on. Yeah. To get that internal, come on. Yeah. You got to they got to fix themselves internally, chemically. Yes. And get themselves to, I want to achieve this. I'm going to do it. Screw it.
You want to feel good.
Yes, exactly.
100%. So I think that's about a good time to end today. I mean, I feel like we talked a lot.
We can talk all day about this.
Yeah, honestly, I feel
we'll be talking about fitness again.
Yeah, we're going to have another episode. But like I always say, thank you so much for joining us today on the Real Business Roundtable. What episode was this? Episode 9? Episode 9. It feels really great to be here.
Yeah.
Subscribe, follow. Turn on that bell notification so that you know when we post new videos. I think we're doing it, twice a week now? 3 times a week? I don't know.
We're talking about possibly doing it more because we're getting a lot of great feedback from people.
Yeah.
People are loving the show. People are mentioning us. Some people have told me already, hey, man, your episode inspired me.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. Peace out.